Hello everyone, and welcome to another little show on Usually Fixing and Tinkering. This year I've tried to concentrate away from shows and more on the nitty-gritty of Mark 1 ownership, and that's where the channel is going. But occasionally I like to share some shows that I've been to recently that are utterly outstanding. And this is a midweek show at the Heart of England Classic Car Show in Meriden, held at the conference centre, and in the summer months it's every fortnight on a Thursday, but I can't tell you which fortnight. All I can tell you is that the date today is not far from when this goes out, and it is one of the hottest days of the year, 31 degrees, and it's brought out every single classic you can name, everything from 1920s, one or two, to a lot of 80s, 90s stuff that we like, to huge rows of cars here. I'm going to lose track of what cars what, and you know that my weakness is with getting cars right, yeah, and I know you know what cars that I prefer. I love Minis that have been changed and universally tinkered with over the years to personalise. BMWs of the early noughties, late 90s, early noughties, especially on this one, coupe, interestingly, that have kind of disappeared over time because mechanically they've just got too long in the tooth. Audi TTs with this ridiculous, it's almost like a universal glitter paint. I can't tell you what paintwork that is, but it's like the Rover monogram paint that they used to apply. That's incredible. I bet that cost a lot of money. That's caught my eye, that is. Project Ruby is down here, and she has made it again with absolutely no problems, alongside some lovely, it's a Mark III Escort W Reg 2-door. Wow, I could just smell the history in here. It smells like Ruby, actually. I love the trims. That lovely dish centre cap there. The ribbed lights. 1.6 CVH. Gear with the chrome strip along the top. In fact, don't you think that's rather a carbon copy of your Mercedes W123s? Very Mercedes-esque. I think Ford were definitely trying to go in a certain direction. Got a couple of MGBs up here. I'm going to veer around and show you some of the most eye-catching cars as we go around. Obviously we've got everything from Beetles. What a lovely skyline, honestly. Look at this, what a beautiful day. We've got some very rare cars. We've got a D-Reg Austin Maestro. Wait, it looks like, is this a Mayfair? No, it's a Vanden Plas, of course. Now, I was thinking it was a Mayfair because of the chrome mirror cappings. Manual, leather seats, and I can smell that interior from 20 million yards. That dashboard, I'd be covering that dashboard in this heat because they can crack very badly. This has survived quite nicely, and it's wearing your MG style wheels, alloys. How nice. And it's lovely to see an Austin Maestro, not, well, a non-badged technical Rover Maestro, but non-badged, in the chrome door handles. Look at that. That's so cool. Wow. Yeah, that's caught my eye. The paintwork has gone a little bit flat, but it doesn't matter to survive. He's even got the keying to the windows, the etching. Oh, wow. Lovely. Get quite a few bugs and beetles around here. Now this is another car that has caught my attention. Again, we've got another Mark IV Fiesta W Reg. I've seen a couple of these at shows now, and I'm glad these are making their way onto the scene more commonly. Ooh, very nice indeed. SI alloys as well. Oh, he's done a bit at the front there. He's just done a few minor things. It looks as if it's been lowered a little bit. Yeah, keep Britain oily, absolutely. Yeah, there's another bug coming along. Yeah, beach bug. Hillman Tiger Avengers with a blacked out window. Full Capri. Wow. A superb sense of colour this has. Look at the colour in that sunlight. Paintworks are gleaming today, even from things like this, like an XJ 4.2 Coupe. So it is a Series 2 Coupe in this very, very fetching colour. Not to everyone's taste, but suitable for its time. And the pillarless coupe is something that, well, this was meant for days like this. I'll be busting a gut to get this out of the garage as soon as the weather comes out, and to just drop both windows and have this pillarless frame. This is one of my dream cars to own, I think. I've already said that on the channel, a Series 2 Jag Coupe. That's my dream car. TR6s. Well, caught out by a Mini. I'm trying to pick out the really, really nice classics, actually. Bonafide. Now, this looks like a Mayfair. Yes, this has got the interior of a Mayfair, if the sunlight picks that up a little bit. Being D-badged, but it is definitely a Mayfair, judging by them seats. And it being an A-reg, that would have the earlier style Mayfair seats before they started changing them a little bit. Is this an Austin Cambridge? Morris Oxford driving by. RS Sapphire. Well, well, well. Lovely to see. Now, there are a lot of these near me, but Micras of this age are very, very fun cars, and people have caught onto them. 635 BMW CSI there. RS Focus there, Triumph Stag, of course. We are near Coventry, so you're going to see a few of these where many of them have kind of stuck around where they would normally have been envisaged. Automatic as well. Now, what staggers me is I came here with low expectations, because the last time it wasn't as interesting. This has certainly caught my eye. A Rover 2000 e-registration. Oh my goodness. So we've got the shark grille at the front. It is a problem on P6s that the paintwork does not attach very well to the aluminium bonnet and boot lid. It's a bit of a problem, but it looks like the rest of the panels have definitely seen the sun, and the owner's kept it that way, or he hasn't quite got round to it. It doesn't matter. Again, you can smell that interior. This is definitely a work in progress. It's interesting radio setup that he's got there. He's put a universal choke in, and it's an automatic. That's quite rare. Rover 2000 automatic. Mine was exactly the same, but it was the later Mark II version with just some differences. These reflectors were on the boot lid earlier on. They got placed down here later on. And you got these earlier style badges. Apart from that, mechanically, the car that I owned for many years is exactly the same, except mine was technically a 2.2, but it had been converted to a 2.2. Can't tell the difference. There is a big problem with these early hubcaps, is that some reason they used to actually cut their tyre valves. The police found that out quite frequently, so they had to change the design quite a bit. And I believe the ones fitted to the V8s were just as bad. I have to video this because it has to be, I've just been speaking to the lovely pair earlier. We've got another Mark IV Fiesta, just with the wheels that have been changed. It's very, very original, this car, and yet very, very, very nice paintwork. Wow, that really is scratch-free, almost blemish-free. This is the pride and joy of the owner, and to get one on an R-Reg in this condition is incredibly rare these days. And next door, the husband and wife team, wow, Escort Mark IV gear. Spot lamps, dash mats, of course, stripes, spoiler, sunroof, but slide and tilt. Let's have the wheels changed a little bit. 1.6 CVH gear, lovely, superb. 1.6 CVH is a lovely engine to own. I think the 1.4 is a lovely engine to own in Ruby, but even with a fractionally heavier car in an Escort, very fractionally, having that little bit of a 1.6 as a bit of an extra, you're halfway to being a performance car at this age, even without any XR badge attached. Superb. Now I recognise this car. This is a very, very rare car, and I did not expect to see this car here. It is a Fiesta Mark III Sunray. Have you heard of that? No, there's only one left. This one. It was a dealership special, registered as some other, I believe it might have been registered as another model, like a gear, or no, actually I think it would be more of a bonus or popular plus, something like that. And the dealership specials were some decals, a spoiler, and I believe the only difference is there's no badging on the back. You get these plastic arch trims. I believe they're plastic or foam related. The interior it looks like a bonus popular plus. You see, you don't even get the glove compartment in there, no center console, very familiar. Carburetted 1.1 engine, I believe, on a J-Reg, and you get these spot lamps at the front that you would see on something like an S. So it's a bit of a sort of dealership parts bin car that they threw a few extras at. This is the only one left, and I can't believe that this car is here. I am yet to bump into the owner. No doubt I will, because he'll see Ruby. We're part of the same group. Fantastic. This one's for sale. Always good to, ooh. Wow, 9.5 grand, 1.6 GTI. Wow. Some people would say it has to be 1.9 to command that sort of money, but I'm not so sure. They are, and always have been, extremely popular 205s. Triumph Dynamite, 1500, sporting. An extreme. I'm finding that all the cars just look 20 times better in the sunlight, or maybe it's because all the cars with amazing paintwork that would not have come when it was a slightly damp day are suddenly coming. Very confusing cars these. They mix them up with Toledos, 1300s, 1500. They mixed them all up, and it's very confusing knowing what's what. But I've got most of the picture, but I have to rely on what's on the back, because most people would look at the front and think Toledo. No, it's not. They've changed a few things. Range Rover Classic, of course, on an L registration. And that's a V8, I believe. Golf Mark II. GTI, of course. So American V8 muscle. Lovely Cadillac. Quite a few American cars down this side. MR2. Nice Miner. Ooh. Nice to see one of these. Very, very nice to see. An ST version, which is what you'll probably most likely see of a Triumph TR6. You'll see plenty of these. Some Subarus here. Very, very nice. ST7. Two-litre injection Capri. Oh yes. Wow. What an amazing day. Ooh, Silver Shadow. It's just a Mercedes at this age. Very nice indeed. Red is always a colour to oxidise quickly in this sunlight. And then the extreme other end. Cooper Sport over here. Oh, lovely. We all know what that is. Oh my goodness, is this a Super Minx? It certainly is. Hillman Super Minx. Well, what the hell? Convertible. Wow. This should be like gold dust. I mean, I've actually never seen a Super Minx convert. I actually didn't think that something like this could exist. I never knew they did a convertible version. Just tells you how rare these are now. Probably only a few left. And this has been redone, recarpeted, the whole thing's. Do you know, restoring an interior of a convertible like this must be so easy. Just find a very dry day and then just throw everything out. No roof to struggle to take the seats out, and the carpet can just be lifted up and then put down instead of being twisted in, and oh, it's horrible getting carpets in and out. It's even worse when you've got a roof on and then you don't have any of that to contend with. You just have this thing which looks brand new as well. That's custom made, that is. Well, it's absolutely rammed here. Got Frog Eye Sprites, we've got another Escort over here. See if there's anything ridiculous. That's actually had a different engine put in it by the look of it. Lotus Europa. I've seen a Lotus Europa over there. Unbelievable. Ferraris don't do anything for me, but still. Oh God, this is the biggest Chrysler I've ever seen in my life. Well, to be fair, it's quite a normal size probably. 3 abreast on the seat, of course. This is really patinaed. Ooh, Mopar Performance. Well, that's had some severe amounts of work in the engine bay. It's nice to see actually that the bodywork has, you know, it looks absolutely fine, but the engine has been tended to where it needs to be tended to, and it probably runs extremely well. So yeah, well, you could keep it like this. It looks absolutely fine. No need for that to be resprayed. It looks absolutely perfect. You've got to be slightly careful of copyright, but wow. 70s on wheels. But right next to this, on a G-Reg. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is quite early. This is definitely an early Uno. Oh, it's a 45 Uno. Oh, lovely. Breeze. Uno Breeze. Wow. It says Casino. Breeze Casino. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what a special limited edition that is. Definitely a manual. I was just checking, but to be fair, the CVT is only fitted on the 60s. Well, to see any Uno in any condition on a G-Reg 1990, yeah, that's done well. That has done extremely well. Fiats were worse than Forza rotting at many stages. What I love about these is that's just clever to have the internal door release on the inside, but it didn't catch on, and I think criminals found it quite easy to steal using that propulsion method of opening a car door. Very clever though. I mean, you'll find a lot of regular cars up here. We've got quite a few Jaguar E-types up this end. Series 1, quite clearly. I think I've seen this before. I love the sort of moss green sort of interior to go with, well, what is British racing green on the exterior. Just a lighter version. Quite very, very classy. It's typical Jaguar. This has all been redone, every part from scratch. This one is the same. I just love it when they open the bonnet. You've got to do that on these. That's your induction. That's some severe amount of induction going through into those triple carbs, triple SUs. Wow, HD8s, I believe. Wow. Wow. Not neglecting an XJS though. V12. Ooh. Yeah, I wouldn't ever say no to one of these. I think these came of age a long time ago. They're just very expensive barges, but very capable. And that's the best, to be fair, that's the preferred engine, but not to repair, put it that way. But when they work, that's the engine to have. Mini Cabriolet. The perfect Mini for a perfect day. Rare to see. Nice Escort. Oh, that's really caught my attention with this. Wow. Oh, it's so busy here. You know what? I'm going to end this video with this lovely Mini that is sticking out like a sore thumb, but a good one. Oh, wow. This is definitely your 70s Mini. Obviously, smaller wheels. Wow. 10-inch. Oh my goodness, it's an automatic. A Mini-matic. This must be 1,000. It can't be an 850. It must be a Mini 1000. Yeah, it is. You can get 850 automatics, but it's usually Mini 1000 cars. This is, if any of you, we'll put it this way, if you're a human being, you have watched a channel or a program called Mr. Bean, and you will know the reference to this car from the very first episode that was done of that Universal channel. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to leave you be. I've got a few people to catch up with, and I've caught most of the cars that I need to catch. So I'm going to see you in a future episode. Well, I suddenly melt into the grass, it feels like. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you at the next one.